Hello and welcome to the daily discussion with Vetter Platform. My name is Ryan and I'm so glad and thankful to be your host today. Today we'll be covering how best to utilize the Vetter Platform. Now this call will be interactive, so be sure to participate. So go ahead and raise your hand if you ever have a question or drop them in the comment section and we will go over them. Now, whether you are a veteran in our community or you are brand spanking new, today I'm going to show you how to best utilize, hands down, the best research tool in the crypto space, which is the Vetter platform, which will help you find your next 2x, 5x, 10x, and beyond. Now, if you're brand new and you don't even know what Vetter is and you don't hold any Vetter tokens, I invite you to check out vetter.ai to learn about what we're up to and why so many people are excited about what we're doing here in the Vetter community. Now, before we jump into how to find your next 2x, 5x, 10x, and beyond, I just want to let you know a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name is Ryan. My wife and I, we have two daughters, ages 7 and 5 years old. And I've been thankful to be a part of the Vetter community ever since early October. Now, go ahead and drop a comment below letting me know how long you've been a part of the Vetter community. Now, one of the things I absolutely love about the Vetter platform is the fact that we have combined AI, artificial intelligence, with CI, crowdsourced intelligence. Now, what is crowdsourced intelligence? That is people like you and I from all over the world working collectively together to find the best projects to invest in. Okay, that's what crowdsourced intelligence is. It's about leveraging other people's time and energy. So you don't have to do all the work yourself. You can leverage other people's time and energy. Now, if you don't know, leverage is the ability to do more with less. I'm going to show you exactly how that works with the Vetter platform today. Now, I do get to say that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Nothing you hear here today will be financial advice. Simply put, today I'm going to show you how to utilize the Vetter platform as a research tool to support you with your crypto trading strategies. Okay, crypto is volatile. Crypto can be risky. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Literally, I'm simply saying this is how you can use the Vetter platform as a research tool to support you with your own strategy. Now, with that, it was great. I think it was last week. Someone had asked, well, Ryan, can you show me the next 2x, 5x? Where is it? Vetter platform is also not a crystal ball. Okay, so we're not financial advisors, nor are we crystal balls. We don't know which project is going to 2x, 10x, 5x, or beyond. It's all about stacking probabilities and following your own personal plan. And I'm going to show you exactly how that will work today. So go ahead and drop a comment below letting me know what your favorite part of the Vetter platform is. Now, before we jump into diving into the platform and how that works and looking at the calendar, we do have a few announcements for today. There are 34 kiosks that are going to be in Times Square in the financial district in New York. Okay, 9 billboards in New York City, and there's going to be a Midtown Mosaic at 42nd and 7th Avenue, and that actually went up today. And the video on the screen right now is animated demo of what's going to be looking like. And that starts today, and it's going to end next week. It's going to run for 1 week straight. There's going to be billboards in the financial district of London starting March 28th. Okay, influencers that have been paid currently, and influencers that are on board. Joe Perry's Crypto Windy O. Whew, that was a mouthful. Vosk, I'm a big Vosk fan. I love Vosk. Satoshi Stacker, Satoshi Sean, Rice Crypto, Crypto Shrek, Crypto King, Brandon 10X. And if you follow some of these guys, go ahead and leave a comment below which one of these influencers that you like to follow. Personally, I love Vosk. I like that he's down to earth. He's up front with what he's sharing, and it's really educational. I think he does a fantastic job. So go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know which influencer you like and which influencer maybe you'd like to see promote and talk about Vetter and be a partner with. So the next thing that we're going to cover is, oh, I almost forgot. I don't know how I almost forgot about this. Tomorrow is the private sale for VPAD. Okay, so we're launching our own launch pad. Tomorrow is a private sale for VPAD. It's not going to be called VPAD, but that's just the name that we're using for now. And so if you're part of the private sale, which you know that you are, I know that you're excited, be sure to check out the announcements and watch for that. And everything that I covered in the announcement sections have has been covered in Telegram. So to get follow-up updates on that, be sure to check out our main Telegram page. So with that, we're going to jump into, let me pull up the calendar here. We're going to pull up the Vetter board. Okay, so today we're just going to break it down. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly how to use this research tool, how best to find and filter on the calendar to find your projects that you want to look for that support your own trading strategy and money management and things like that. And we're going to do a deep dive. Like I said, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below or raise your hand and I'll be sure to check those out. So first off, when you log into the Vetter platform, you're going to be on the Vetter board. This is our dashboard. It's the Vetter board. This is where you can get a 30,000-foot view of everything going on the Vetter platform. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see right here is this box right here, and you're going to see the words Scout, Vetter, and Voter. Now, there are essentially 3 roles in this platform. Okay, three roles that support the way that this platform runs. Okay, first off, we have the Scout role. Now, as a scout, you are basically going out and you're finding projects. And then when you bring the project back to the community, you submit it, and then it is populated onto a calendar. So the scout's job is getting just basic information about the project. When does it launch? Getting information about the website, the Telegram, the soft cap, hard cap. Is it a private sale? Is it a pre-sale? Is it a fair launch? What type of project is it? Those basic information, basic things like that. The next person is called a vetter. Now, a vetter will come in and they will see that a scout has submitted some information, and a vetter will do a deep dive on the project. They'll go deeper. Okay, a vetter will go deep into some of the positives that they see about the project and some of the red flags that they see about the project. A vetter will go deeper into the team. Is a team doxed? Okay, what kind of social media links does a team have? Do they just have a pic on their website, or is it like a a random animated image? Do they even have real names? Is it just like screen names? Or things like that. Has the team done AMAs? What's the Telegram like? Is the Telegram busy? Are people asking real questions? Is the Telegram botted? These are the types of things that a vetter will look at and they'll analyze and do a deep dive on to give you a sense of like where the project is at. Okay, so it allows you to read the report and see. And don't worry, I will show exactly what I'm saying right now. I just want to break it down from a 30,000-foot view, what all this stuff means, but I will definitely go back and show you exactly what we're covering right now. Then the next position or role is a voter. Now, here's the beautiful thing. Scouts are important, vetters are important, but voters, the system would not work without the voting. And the role of a voter is so important because as scouts post projects, they get ranked based on whether the project was successful or not. They get voted on. And so as you increase in rank, your color changes. Okay, so you start at gray, then you go to yellow, then you go up to beige, green, purple. Okay, now the higher the rank, that means that they've had more successful projects based on how we score these projects. And if someone is a red, for example, that means that they've posted a lot of projects that haven't done very good. And not to say that the projects that they do post are going to be bad, but it's just a means of filtering information. Okay, we go through life and we see just thousands upon thousands of bits of information every single day, and this is a way that you can filter that information. But if you see a green or you see a purple or a beige, they're at that level based on the success, the profitable or non-profitable projects that they have posted on the calendar. And that comes straight from the voters voting for those projects. A vetter is the same way. When you see color coding vetter, it's based on whether voters felt that the information that the vetter supplied was useful or not. Now, those 3 roles are the backbone. Those are the gears that make the wheels turn in the vetter community. It all works together. And those 3 positions is great because anybody can be a part of this. So I started off by saying that, this is about crowdsourced intelligence. We're all doing our part. Here's a great thing. As a scout, you actually can get paid vetter by submitting projects. If you're a beige and you submit a project, you make 750 vetter. If you're a green, you make 1,750 better. If you're a purple, you make 2,250 better for every project that you submit to the calendar. So you actually get paid to contribute. As a vetter, you get paid to contribute. And as a voter, you get paid to contribute. Now, I'm not sure when the actual day is going to happen, but I have heard that the voting payments are going to be going up, so be on the lookout for that. That is one, like I said, one of the most important roles that we have in the community, because that feeds the Oracle, it feeds the AI, and it feeds the color coding. And so higher compensation is going to be given out to voters, especially voters who are voting appropriately and doing the right things. So that's how the roles work. Next, let's talk about the tiers. Okay. As a tier 1, it's 10,000 vetter. If you hold 10,000 vetter, you have access to tier 1, which shows you the ICO info, okay, which is basically just the info for the scout. Okay. At tier 2, that's when you hold 25,000 vetter, you get see the information that the vetter has shared. Okay. And at tier 3 is where you get color coding rankings, where you hold 100,000 vetter, and you now have color coded rankings, and you can see if it was a purple or a green or a beige or a red, and that indicates to you, hey, it supports you in your process of filtering. Also, at tier 3 with 100,000 vetter, you're able to vote. Okay, so tier 3 is really that threshold right there, where tier 3 gives you access to everything you could want to best utilize the platform. And then tier 4, 500,000 or more, you get advanced features and benefits. For example, we have something called the Vetter Trading Club. And within the Vetter Trading Club, you're able to, these are all-star vetters within the community, and they trade different projects together, but they document all the information that they're going over. Now, as a tier 4 holder, you're able to basically be a fly on the wall, listen in on these calls and see what they're talking about, and see why they like this project versus this project, and see what they are deciding to get in for the launch. And you could follow along and do the same thing if it works for your schedule and your strategy. Next off, we have the calendar, and we'll do a deep dive on that in a moment. This is just a quick snapshot of that. So you can see here's all these purples, and then here's some green and some beige, and here's a yellow, here's a red. These are the color coded rankings that we were talking about a minute ago. Next over here, you see team stats. And this shows different members of the community and how they've been compensated. So this right here, this is someone who is the top tipper, and they have tipped over 88,000 vetter. Okay, right here you have the top tip scout, and they have received, 29,000 vetter. Right here you have the top tipped vetter, and they've received 68,000 vetter. Here's the top paid scout, and they've received over 236,000 vetter. Okay, they've been paid. Okay, K vetter has been paid over 230,000 vetter for submitting projects to the calendar. That's fantastic. K vetter has also been paid 239,000 vetter by vetting projects on the calendar. So just rough math real quick, that's like 470,000 vetter that K-Vetter has earned by contributing to the calendar. And so when you see how all this stuff works together, that's why so many people are excited about what we're doing, because literally people can come on board and contribute to the ecosystem and actually get paid to do so, which is not even factoring in them investing in projects that they find on the calendar anyway, okay? Next up, we have Seymour. They're the top paid voters. So that means that they've received 583,000 vetters simply by voting. Okay, so there's literally a space for anybody. Anybody, there's a space for. If you want to contribute, you want to be a part of the community, there's absolutely room for anybody who wants to contribute, and you will get paid accordingly, which is fantastic. It's a win-win. Now, you may have heard of other tokens and projects that, if you hold ABC token, maybe you get reflections for, ABC token, or maybe you get BNB or BUSD. That's how those projects work. But what was decided with the Vetter was, instead of paying people just to hold the tokens, we pay people to participate and contribute. And that's the beauty of the ecosystem that we've created here at Vetter. Now, right here is a snapshot of tips and gains that have been coming in. So these are people who, Cryptocom got a 2x and tipped 100 vetter. Vodka Hot 10x tipped 10,000 10,000 better. Without the commas, it's hard for me to see all these digits. I don't know if it's hard for you guys, but that's why there's pauses sometimes as I share these numbers. But you can see right here, Winston 100x got a 6x, tipped 1,000 better. And so this is also another element of the crowdsourced model and everyone working together. So, you could find a project and you find a project and it does, 3x, and you're like, man, that was great. I want to tip the scout because they did such a good job finding this project. This is what this platform is encouraging us to do. It literally is an ecosystem and environment where we all work together, we all support each other, but also we when one wins, we all win. And there's no lack of contribution and rewarding people for their contribution and the work that they're doing. Now, the hot list, excuse me, I need to get a drink of water. The hot list is, these are projects that have been posted by Purple Scouts, and they're just recent projects that have been posted. Excuse me, 1 minute.
Yep, that happens to me too, my friend. So get a glass of water. I always have tea and lemon and maybe a little bit of honey sitting next to me when I'm doing the calls too. So Ryan will be right back, guys. He's an amazing speaker. And he's going to give you all the information that you actually need. So great job, Ryan. And he'll be back in just a minute. Sometimes this happens to us.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I got a little tickle. I got a little tickle in my throat. I need to go get a cough drop. And thank you for filling in, Phyllis. I appreciate that. Woo, that came out of nowhere. Okay, I'm back. The hot list. This is where a purple rank scout. This is a list of projects that have just been added to the calendar by a purple rank scout. The next area is the video library or our video vault. And I'll just go ahead and click on that so you can see what this is. This is information that supports the platform. So for example, if you have questions about how to import your Trust wallet to MetaMask and then how to connect MetaMask to the platform, this is where you'll find that information. And on a regular basis, we're adding more and more information to the video vault and video library. But as you can see right here, influencer marketing. So the names that I listed and shared earlier when we first launched or started the call, their videos are right here. So you could literally come into the video vault and see what these influencers are talking about and what they're saying about Vetter and the platform. Right down here, I'd mentioned previously that as being a tier 4 holder, holding 500,000 Vetter or more, you're able to get access to the Vetter Trading Club videos. So you can watch those live, but here's also replays. So you can see and have a pulse and understanding of what we talk about and what's being shared on those calls as well. So you can find that in right here, it says videos, and that is the video library. And let me just briefly go over the user profile. Now this profile that I'm on currently, it is an admin profile. So it doesn't show everything that a regular user would have. Let me refresh real quick. And while that's coming up, there's a little tab over here that says support. And here's some frequently asked questions. Down here, it shows our support channels, Vetter.ai, the website, and also Vetter Telegram. But also, you can click this right here, submit a question and issue. So if you run into a problem and you're unsure of, you haven't found the answer, found support, this is ask some basic questions. You're able to fill this in and get support back on, whatever it is you're struggling with. So there's lots of avenues to get your questions answered and get the support that you need. So right now, my profile is not loading for some reason. So we'll try to refresh again. Before I got on, my internet was kind of a little slow. And so the platform is only as good as how well my internet's functioning right now. Okay, we'll just wait. As we're waiting for this to load up, I do want to mention that one of the things I don't think is talked enough about in the crypto space is your own personal money management and your own personal strategy for these launches. Okay, so one of the beautiful things that Vetter was founded on, it's really founded on the principle of I don't know who originally said the quote, but buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high. And so what you get to understand and realize is Vetter is all about a pre-sale strategy, meaning it's about finding pre-sales. It's about getting into private sales. It's about getting into a position as early as you possibly can. Okay, so this is a pre-sale strategy, meaning you are able to get a spot in an allocation. You're able to put some BNB and buy some tokens of certain projects before it even launches to the public. Okay, so the idea of buy low, sell high, this is perfect with that, because when you go to launch day, if you've ever watched a project launch, price can be crazy. It can go up fast, it can go down fast, and anything in between. And the beautiful thing about a pre-sale strategy, private sale strategy, is you get to get in early. You don't have to worry about what price is, is price going up, is price going down? Price is what it is. And then the moment it launches, as people are buying, you're now in a position where right off the bat, you're making money. And if people are selling, obviously you're in a position right now to sell as well. And so this is what this strategy is built on, the idea of buy low, sell high. And that's where a pre-sale, a private sale is genius. I'll admit, it's a little embarrassing. When I first came on board, I didn't necessarily connect the dots that the strategy was buy low, sell high. I mean, I knew that. So when a coin would launch, a project would launch, I would try to get in as price is pumping up. And next thing I know, it's going down because I bought in once the coin had already launched. I hope that makes sense, what I'm saying. This is all about pre-sale, getting in early and getting in at the lowest point you possibly can, because that stacks probabilities in your favor to be able to pull out profits in the long run. Okay. Now I debate whether I should click on the profile or not. Let me go to this one and click on the profile. Okay, it's working now. Good, great. Okay. So what you see on the profile, this is going to show you your rank, your current rank, and this is just a deeper level view of like a 10,000, 5,000 foot view. Earlier, when we were looking at the dashboard, that was a 30,000 foot view. Now we're looking deeper. So this shows your scout rank, your veteran rank, and your voter rank. This shows your rank for each time frame. So we judge projects on 4 different time frames. The daily time frame, was it successful in the daily time frame? If there was at least 1 hour where people could sell above pre-sale price for the daily, that would be considered a success. For the weekly, if there was at least 24 hours, or there was at least 1 day out of 7 days where price was above the pre-sale line, we consider that a success. For the monthly, if there were at least 7 days where price was above the pre-sale line within that 30-day time frame, we consider that profitable. And then overall is really a category to focus on. If a project dumps right away and was a rug pull or a honeypot, that would obviously be a down vote overall. But let's say that there was a project just had a rough start. Maybe they fumbled their launch and they weren't successful for the daily. They weren't successful for the weekly. They were barely successful for the month, but then overall they actually took off. And this is a category that has some redeeming features to it, because maybe they just had a slow start in the first day and week, but it took a little bit of time for them to ramp up. They just need a little bit of ramp up time, and then they were able to go. Now this next box, this shows how many tokens that you hold. Okay, so this is how many tokens that you hold, and this is your activity. Okay, this shows how many projects you've scouted, how many projects you vetted, and how many projects you have voted on. Now here's your watch list. So when we find a project, there's actually a little heart icon, and you can click that heart icon and your project would show up here in this area. And you'd be able to sort through, has it launched yet? Is it launchable? Is it future new? All these different things, okay? Some of these features that I have, because this is an admin account, will not show up on yours. Next up is projects. These are the projects that you have posted, whether you scouted them or whether you vetted them. And they're gonna show up here. And these are the votes that you have done. And down here would be the tips, whether you've received tips or whether you've sent tips. Okay, so let's go to the calendar now. So this is the Vetter calendar. Just a minute ago, there was a little box in the upper right hand that showed a lot of greens and purples and beiges. And now we're getting deeper and we're looking into what these projects actually look like. Okay, so this is the month of March right here. And you can see there's a slight shading right here for the 14th. And now this says that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 47. So 52 projects are listed for the 14th. This does not mean that there are 52 projects launching on the 14th today. That's not what this means. This means that perhaps there was a pre-sell, an IDO, a private sell, a date that got moved around, something that's actually launching. There's a variety of things that allow these projects to show up on the calendar. Okay, it does not indicate that there's 47 launches today. Okay, all of these projects are going to fit in one category, and we're going to break down the filtering here in a minute, so you can see as we change filters, it's going to show you a better picture of what is actually launching today or tomorrow, or maybe what launched yesterday and things like that. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of get overwhelmed when I see 66 projects on one day, or, more like this is a little bit easier. There's 8 projects right here to look at. There we go. There's 7 right here. But when you see 66 or when you see, 52, that's a lot. So up here are filters, and we can start filtering these things out and sorting these projects based on your own personal trading philosophy, your own style, your own strategy. So let's say that you absolutely love Binance. Okay, when you click Binance, it's going to filter out all projects that are not on the Binance network. It's only going to show you projects that are on the Binance network. Now, let's say that you dislike Binance because of, however you feel about that, and you are all for Ethereum because you love high gas prices. Oh, keep clicking it off. There we go. Now you can see these are all projects that are on the Ethereum network. And if you love the Ethereum network for, your own personal strategy, this is how you can filter these projects to just show projects that are on the Ethereum network. Perhaps you don't like Ethereum because of the gas fees, but you love Solana because hardly any gas fees. And so this is another way that you can filter these projects based on the network that they are launching on. The next thing we can focus on is, since it's a pre-sale strategy, these are pre-sale launchpads: DXL, PinkSell, Unicrypt. So let's say that you absolutely love PinkSell. So you click on PinkSell, and now you have the projects that are having, whether it's a pre-sale or whether it's a fair launch through PinkSell, whatever the case, these are projects that are associated with PinkSell. Let's say that you dislike PinkSell, but you love DXL. Now these are the projects showing up that are launching on DXL. So these filters allow you to better dial in what you're looking for and support you in your own strategy and launch plan. Now we're going to go into the category. Okay, maybe you like gaming projects, or maybe you like NFT projects, or maybe you like meme projects. Like you want to see like the next Floki, Shiba, Turtle, Snail project. I don't know. I mean, some of these names are super random, but you can click meme, and it's going to filter in just the meme tokens. Okay, so all these are the memes going on. We change it to gaming, and now we just have gaming tokens that are showing up. Okay, we change it to utility. You're the type of, your strategy is all about, hey, you want utility. You want people to use the platform that they're the token that's actually they're launching. That's what you are all about. You would click utility, and that's how you would start sorting. Okay. Next up would be event type. So like I said a minute ago, all of these projects on the calendar doesn't mean that they're all launching today. It doesn't mean they're all IDOs or they're fair launches or pre-sales. It just means that they check some box. Okay, some box on the spectrum, and that's how they show up on the calendar. Let's say that we're just looking for private sales. So we click private sell, And we're like, okay, great. You know, there's a couple of tokens today that are having the private sale today. It's probably a little too late to get into those, but you know, maybe if you were planning ahead and you're like, hey, look, here's Bake Boss DAO. There seems to be a private sale on the 18th. And maybe this would help you with your research. Like, hey, I want to get in the private sale because you know that like there's a potential for the gains to be higher because of the private sale. And so it gives you time to research these projects over here that have a private sale option and gives you time to potentially get a spot for it. So maybe it's a whitelist spot, or maybe you get to be a community member for a certain period of time. And so this would allow you to prepare to get in those projects. The next option is you can select projects that are only for purple. You only want to see purple scouts or purple vetters who've shared their information, and you don't want to see any other stuff. And you could filter that way. You could filter by, you know, you just want to see greens. Now, the way this works is it's going to show green and above. So purples are going to be included in this list, but now you see greens and purples here. We'll go to all ranks. Now the Oracle feature, this will allow you to find projects based on the actual track record of the scout. So let's say that, you know, you wanted to find projects that you are a long-term holder and you want projects that are going to be successful over the 30-day period. You know, when you filter this in, it's going to show you projects that have, statistically speaking, based on the track record of the scout, they historically have posted projects that do well over the 30-day time period. And that's how you would be able to filter that information. Next, now this is another area where, because I have an admin profile, you may see some things on here that you don't have on yours, but this allows you to see projects that only have been scouted. Okay, so let's say that you're a vetter and you want to hop in here and you want to find projects that haven't been vetted, and you can click that and you can say, okay, hey, there's plenty of projects to vet. Or as an investor, let's say that you just want to, you only want to look at projects that have been vetted. So when you click that, here are all the projects that have been vetted. Okay, so this goes back to saving yourself time and energy. And you're like, you know what? A vetting ideally says a scout's looked at it and then a vetter's looked at it. Sometimes they're the same person, but you're like, you know, two people have looked at it, at least one person's looked at it. I want to spend my time there because I want to best use my time. Maybe you got a full-time job and you only have a couple hours a day to commit to this process. And this is a great resource to be able to use and filter out all the other stuff, because some of the research has already been done for you, and you would just be able to dive in and find the projects that work for you. Okay. Now, before we jump into the calendar, actually, let me go over a couple more here. So when you click ready to launch, these are projects that, you know, based on the time of day that these projects are ready to launch. Again, it does not mean that all these projects are launching today, because they fit those different buckets and criteria. But this is how you could sort, one of the ways you could sort to do that. So let's say that you want to get a private sell and you're looking for a whitelist. So there's an option here where these are projects that are offering whitelist spots. And you could narrow your focus down by saying, I want to look at projects that have been vetted only and have a whitelist spot. Because if we want to stack probabilities, you want to get in a private sell. Actually, let's do this as well. Let's change it to event type private sell. Okay, I'm not saying this is a grand slam. I have no idea. I've never even seen this project. Okay, but based on the filters that we have, there's a private sell available. It's been vetted and it has a whitelist spot. Okay, that means that you could look at this project and you could say, hey, you know what? I want to stack probabilities. I want to see if I can get in this whitelist. I don't know if it's too late or not, but right here, it'll tell you how to get on the whitelist. Okay, so that's how these filters work. So before I dive into the calendar and we start looking at projects and actually looking at these projects and using the filters, does anybody have any questions? Feel free to drop a comment in the chat section, or raise your hand and I will unmute you. As I'm waiting for those, let me just refresh here. Connect the wallet. Turn off my filters.
I have a question.
Hey, Vernon, how's it going?
Pretty good, thanks. I've been enjoying the presentation so far. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
I had a glance at a profile recently, and it was nicely populated. I just wanted an indication as far as how do you go about taking out the projects and putting them on your profile to be able to, I guess the idea is to be able to go there and have a glance at those projects you want to participate in. How do you get them from the calendar to your profiles for future use?
Okay, that's a great question. Yeah, I will go over that. As soon as these blue bars go away, I will go over how to add that to your watch list. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a great question. As we're let me make a note of that. As we are waiting for this to load, does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, Cherie asks, how do you know times zones? So Cherie, are you asking about the time that shows up on the calendar? How do you know what time zone that is?
I'm asking, hi, first of all.
Hi, how
great
are you?
training. I'm doing
Oh,
well.
thank you.
Doing well. I've looked at some of them and I wonder what time zone it's in. Like the pre-sale or because looking at the timeline, the green timeline that gives you when the pre-sale is going to be or when the whitelist or when the launch is going to be.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, some of them I end up having that question afterward.
Of course, yeah. I will let me make a note of that and we'll go over that. Okay, sorry, my I'm not sure why my internet is causing some problems today. Let me try this other side.
Want me to share my screen, Ryan? I can.
Yeah, is yours working?
I think it might be. Let me just go ahead.
Okay,
and
yeah, let me stop sharing and I'll let you share, okay?
Yeah, I will do that. You just tell me where you want me to go.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, let me. Okay, yeah, if you could go to the calendar.
Okay.
Whew, glad yours is working. Okay, let's see here. So the first thing that we want to talk about was watch list. So let's go down to the 15th, and let's just pick any coin that stands out, any project. There we go. Okay, so if we wanted to add this to your watch list, we would click that heart button there, Vernon. Okay, so now that it says its project has been set as a favorite. So now when you go to your profile, which over on the left, you'll see the little person icon. And so it's going to populate your projects there on the watch list. And so I don't remember the name of it, but there's yeah, maybe future,
Maybe
click future.
Needs to populate, maybe, yeah. Let me watch list, future. Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, that's how you do it.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure why it's not popping up.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Menatech. Future. That project's coming up, right? That wasn't launched.
Right. I didn't actually. I didn't write it down.
Right? I didn't look at it either. Let's go back and just let's just start this again. Sorry, guys. Let's just go to tomorrow and let's just grab something.
Okay, so
This is
Terraverse. Okay.
Now, sometimes it takes a second or two, or maybe a little longer for it to actually activate. I noticed that. So,
Okay, so it does show that another one, oh, there it is. It's a second one there now.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. And it did increase the number. It was 15, now it's 16.
Right.
So that's how that works, Vernon. There's just a heart there. And when you select the heart, it saves as a favorite. And now it shows in this watch list section of your profile. And like we were experimenting with a minute ago, it may take a few minutes for it to show up. Or you may just get to keep scrolling down through your watch list to find it there. Okay. So that one's for you, Vernon. And now, Phyllis, if we can click on any project, and we're going to look at the timeline. Cherie had a question about the times that's showing up on these projects. What does it actually mean?
Yep, it's actually it should be in your time zone.
Yes. Yeah, the way it's coded, it's for the time zone. So for example, Cherie, today, this is showing what time it is in your time zone on March 14th, right there. So the first little circle on the far left. And
So
then
if
in the middle,
if you're not on East Coast, it won't say this.
right. So for Phyllis, it's showing Monday, March 14th at 4:40, because that's coded to her time zone. For you personally, it's going to show you what your time zone is. And then for the IDO in the middle, that's going to show you your time zone for 3:22 at 9 p.m.
Hey, can I jump in here real quick? So this is what I was saying. I think I talked to you on Saturday. So it says the IDO is 3:22, and then the launch is 3:23, which is almost impossible, I would think, right? So I think that maybe on the back end, like if they don't know the launch, maybe they just don't put it, because if someone's strategy is getting it at launch, that would be incorrect information. I mean, I know that it's very heavily pre-saled, but like it's probably, because that's as a newbie that someone wants to get in here and says, okay, they've got it down here. You're going to look at that launch and say, okay, I'm going to hit all the launches, and then most of them are all going to be incorrect.
Yeah. So the way this would work, Bryce, is, and hey,
Okay.
thanks for being here. Yeah, and yes, we
of
did
course.
speak on Saturday. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So the way it would work is some of this information is not available. And so, for example, I have projects that I scouted and vetted in December that literally pushed their launch day back every single week for the last 90 days. And so some of these projects are the developers are dragging their feet on when the actual day is going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And so for long-term
down.
planning, it makes it really challenging for long-term planning. And
Yep.
so, the dApp requires dates.
Okay.
And I would much rather, and so and hear me out on this. I would much rather have the launch day be close to the IDO date, even if it's wrong. And here's the reason why. Because if I'm going to participate in the IDO date, I'm going to be watching this project leading up to the 22nd, and I will know when the launch date is.
Yep, makes sense.
If the scout posted 2-week difference, or I may miss it. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there are some date nuances with that, but it comes down to figuring out how to best navigate with the information that's available.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Hey, thanks for being here, and thanks for contributing. I appreciate it, brother.
Of course.
Can I ask you something quickly as we were on that same screen here?
Yes, Vernon.
What is the difference between the IDO and the launch? There's just one day apart. What's the difference between
So an IDO would be a project launching from a major launch pad like BSC pad or Game Starter. A lot of games do IDOs, so they raise a lot of money, and in order for you to participate in the IDO, let's say it's Game Starter, for example, okay? And so you would get to hold tokens of Game Starter in order to have access to buy into this particular project that launches on the 22nd. Okay, so that's what the IDO is. Typically, you get to have massive amounts of tokens on the platform it's launching from in order to take part in it. And then once that has happened, a couple days later, or weeks later, depending on how they manage. Sometimes there's multiple IDOs on different platforms for a whole week straight. And then finally on launch day, that's the day where it opens to the public, and we could potentially go on Pancake Swap or Uniswap or Sushi Swap, and we could buy the token from the swap. Okay, so the IDO is like a pre-sale, it's like a private sale, it's like early access, and then the launch is when it's available to the public and anybody can buy it on one of the swaps. Does that make sense?
It does. So the only difference between your IDO and your regular whitelist is that you have to hold a lot of the tokens.
Exactly. So Pink Cell, for example, and DXL and Unicrypt. So those are launch pads, but they're not like IDOs. Like you don't have to own Pink Cell token to take part in a pre-sale on Pink Cell. And so those fit in the pre-sale mode. Now on some Pink Cell projects and some DXL projects, you do get to be whitelisted, but you don't have to own tokens to take part. With an IDO, more often than not, you get to own tokens of that launch pad in order to take part in that in the pre-sale, so to speak.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, you're absolutely welcome. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to raise your hand or drop it in the comments. Okay, I'm going over some questions in the chat here. Oh, so Deborah, I've personally found that Crypto.com has worked really well for me with buying Ethereum as well as BNB. Crypto.com has worked really well for me. All other platforms I had a problem with and challenges with, but I guess just the way my bank communicates, Crypto.com has worked well for me.
Yeah, I'm going to just jump in there too, just to kind of give you a little clue. And when you're doing it, what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you transfer it out, you want to make sure that you're clicking where it says BSC. It's going to give you it's going to give you BNB and BSC. So you want to just make sure you click the BSC and you can send it right to MetaMask.
Right.
That's if you're in a state that allows it. I know Texas and New York, Crypto.com is not available there.
Right. Everybody's trying to get their restrictions and some states limiting access to crypto and so on. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to drop it in the comments or raise your hand. So Phyllis, let's go ahead and let's go to the calendar and let's dive into, let's just use some of the filters. Let's get some audience participation on what kind of network do we want to look at? Do we want to look at Binance? We want to look at Ethereum? We want to look at Solana? First person who drops in the comments, that's the network we'll look at today. And if you don't pick one, I'll pick one for you.
So, quick question. Is it likely that the pod is going to be on, well, we know the name is going to change, but is it likely that the VPod is, well, no, it's a dumb question because eventually the pod is going to be, it will be a launcher itself. But I was going to ask whether it would be on the Binance network. Is that where it's likely to be, or is it going to be on its own network, the VPod?
That's a tech question. My first guess is Binance because that's the funds that we're receiving, but that may not be accurate. Phyllis, do you know?
Well, we're not going to be able to launch on our own launch pad because we're going to be launching it. So we're going to have to use another launch pad in order to launch it. But I'm sure as we bring on other tokens, we'll be using our own launch pad. Does that answer the question?
That answers it, yes. That is what I was thinking. Yeah.
So we'll probably have to use like Pink Sale or DXL or something else out there that's available. I don't think they picked it yet. They're probably talking to different, negotiating with different people.
Very good, thanks.
Perfect.
You're welcome.
All right, so let's just go ahead and let's look at a pre-sale. So we can go to event type and go to pre-sale.
What else would you like?
And then go to the last filter. Yeah, and then select vetted only.
Vetted only.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Did it move? Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
it takes a split second sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So based on what we were saying earlier, we were talking about how, when you go to the calendar, there's literally hundreds of projects that are there. They're all at different stages of the launch process. And some of them, the days are constantly moving because developers are changing the days for whatever reason. It is what it is. But this is one of the ways you can focus in on. Okay. So we talked about earlier how the strategy is buy low, sell high. So we want to look for pre-sales. Now, right now we have all networks selected. So these are any network that's on the calendar. These are what's showing up on the calendar right now. And so we also selected have been vetted. That means that either a deep dive has been done by one person, or someone has submitted a project and then someone else is taking another look at it. And so, if your strategy is all around how best to leverage your time, this could be an option for you, because now you have at least one person has gone deep on this, or two people have put their eyes on it. And again, this doesn't guarantee that it's going to be your next 2x, but it does play in that role of having a system and process in place to help you find those good projects. Okay, so we can go ahead and look at, we can click on anything on either on the 15th or the 18th. We'll look at any of those and just kind of browse to see what we see on what the Scout submitted. Okay, so the Scout has submitted that we have a soft cap of 100 and a hard cap of 250. The launch pad, the pre-sale is going to take place on Unicrypt. Okay, and so this is the information that I'm going over right there. Okay, so it's saying it's going to happen on Unicrypt. It's on the Ethereum network. Okay, and then over to the right, we see a soft cap of 100, hard cap of 250. Okay, so they want to raise 250 Ethereum, and the minimum they get to raise is 100. Okay, and the next thing that we see is that it looks like there was a private sell. So if we go to the timeline at the top, there was a private sell that happened on February 23rd. Today is Monday, the 14th, March 14th. The pre-sale happens Friday, the 18th, and the launch is going to be on the 21st. Okay, so that gives us a snapshot of the information. Okay, the Scout, their job is simply to add to the calendar and add some basic information here. This Scout has gone on and they've added a little more information. So you're able to read through this and see what the Scout has said. And like I said earlier, it's about leveraging their time. So they've done a little research on this, and it kind of gives you a quick snapshot of what the project is and why, maybe what the Scout liked about it. They currently don't have any red flags. Okay, so the Scout currently doesn't have any red flags, but they do say that the audit's done, and they list that as a positive. Okay, on the notes section, they have an update on 3.8. Looks like the Scout's been in contact with the mod and developers, and maybe in Telegram. He says Telegram continues to grow at a good rate. So this is good. So the Scout is having a deep dive into this project. So they're following along with the project. They've done more than just update it. They're actually in communication with the developers and the mod of Telegram. Okay, so that gives us a snapshot. So if we scroll up to the top, we can then see the vetting report. Okay, so the first tab at the top is for the Scout, and when we click that, that's the vetter. So the vetter has taken the Scout's information and they've added some additional information to it. So over on the left, it says vetter information, and we see the Telegram group size. We see that it says 1,370 people in Telegram, and they believe that the Telegram is vibrant. Okay, the Telegram notes, devs are answering questions appropriately, no major hype. Okay, the team notes, they say that there's been KYC and audit. He can't find much about the team. Next, AMA, they've had a couple AMAs, they're planning on several more, some positive comments about the AMA and Telegram. So that means people are excited about the AMA.
And what does AMA mean?
AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. And so I really like it when I see projects that are doing this, because I just feel like it just goes hand in hand with marketing. It just makes sense for developers or mods or someone representing the company, the project, to get on and answer and ask people's questions. So AMA stands for Ask Me Anything, and this can be done. It can be done via text, which I don't like text AMAs. I think it's really lazy. Even if there's language barriers, speak to your language. I mean, speak to your community in your language, and at least let someone hear what you're saying. So text AMAs can happen, but I think those are just fluff and they're fed easy questions. That's my personal opinion. Next would be voice AMAs, and voice AMAs you'll see those in Telegram, where they'll do an AMA and then later on they'll record it. Projects that actually record and then upload their AMAs and saving the pin post get extra bounty points for me, because again, it's free marketing, it's free advertising. You've already done the work. Now let your community know it exists and people can watch it on their own time. And then the next level of AMA would be like a video AMA, where people are showing their face. You can see them on screen. And that's also can be a form of doxing, where if people are on the screen, it just it stacks probabilities in the favor of, these are real people, this is what's going on. So let's go ahead and check out the Telegram. So at the time of the vetting, it said 1370 members. And so we're going to check out the Telegram. So when you click this link right here, it can take you straight to Telegram. So 1370 were the members at the time of the vetting, and now they're up to 3,200. So both the scout and the vetter both said, hey, this Telegram seems vibrant and the numbers are looking pretty good. We got 525 online out of 3,200. So that's decent. So the next thing that we would want to look at is we just want to start looking through the comments and see how active is it. So right now, it's 4:56 Eastern time. And so there's a handful of comments that have been coming on for the last 30 minutes, for the last hour. There's people that are engaging, there's people that are responding. And so that's one of the things that I look for to see how much activity has been going on. And then I start looking into the questions. Are people asking questions? Are people getting their questions answered? Okay. So you just kind of get a feel for what's going on. Okay. And then you could also search in the when you click the magnifying glass, you're able to search like different phrases like, good project or things like that, just to see if there's lots of people that are searching this. This could be an indication that there's bots being used to fill the Telegram just to make noise, to just kind of, as filler, as vanity, for example. So these are some things you could do to get an idea on the pulse of the project, and see how many people are actually in there and is it real. Okay, so there seem to be a handful of highs in there. The next thing you could do is you could scroll all the way up in the Telegram and see about how old or new is a Telegram. You can see if there's any pinned messages. And this gives you an indication of, how well it's being managed, how old or new the account is, and things like that.
Is there anything more on the developers?
You mean something we could research, or on the platform, on the dApp?
On the dev team, I like to see them more actively involved with the project.
Yeah. So to do that, I mean, you could type in, if you type in dev in the search bar, you could see what kind of results come up when people are searching for devs, and see what kind of results people are coming back. So if they're saying that the team is doxed or whatever, or they'll say, hey, we had an AMA with a dev, and you can ask questions like Phyllis is doing right now, and see how they respond. We didn't have time to go through their website and look at that. But that's the next thing you would do. You would start digging into the devs and things like that. So due to some of the technical difficulties, we're kind of running behind. So I apologize, but we like to keep things clear and crisp. So we start on the hour and we end on the hour. So I apologize for getting to cut this off short. But tomorrow, Phyllis will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. She does a fantastic job at leading these calls. So be sure to come back tomorrow and tune in tomorrow. And before I hop off, I like to end it the way my mentor used to always end it. He said, life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know that you care and love them. Hey, I appreciate you all for being here, for you all asking questions and contributing to the community. There's a lot of exciting things going on, and we're all in for an awesome ride. So I will see you guys tomorrow.
Hey, Ryan,
And have a good night. Okay, bye for now.
just a little side note, if anybody wants a whitelist for that project, let me know.
Oh,
I scouted it, and I've been in touch with admin on that one. So
Okay, thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it, bro.
yeah,
We get
he
to hop
offered
off,
us some
okay?
whitelist spots. So all right, see you guys.
Perfect, brother. I appreciate it.